On this Black Friday, new questions about how willing shoppers will be to open their wallets this year. A new analysis from the Wall Street Journal of Gallup polling finds that people are more likely to believe the economy is improving if they voted for President Trump, with the opposite being the case for those who voted for Hillary Clinton. And the data also shows that people's beliefs may be swayed by where they live as well. Here now, let's bring in Erick Erickson. He is founder of The Resurgent and a Fox News contributor. So what's your take on this?
Well, you know, it just goes to show how much partisanship has poisoned the well here. Democrats used to lecture Republicans that the economy was improving. If only Barack Obama weren't Democrat, they would recognize it. Well, the same goes true for them now. In fact, the economy has improved more now than it was when Barack Obama was president, and yet Democrats suddenly don't think the country's going in the right direction and the economy's on the downturn. It's ridiculous, particularly because they live in some of the areas of the country that are thriving the most under President Trump. They just can't give him credit.
Yeah, so it does sound ridiculous, but then at the same time, so much of the economy and shopping is about sentiment. I mean, you go out and you spend more for the holiday season if you have the perception that you're doing better, and especially that things are going to get better in the future, and we're on the upswing. You feel more relaxed, you're looser with your wallet. So it is, in many instances, a self-fulfilling prophecy as people go out there and they spend more money and sort of stir up the economy, no?
Yes, very much so. But, you know, particularly with among Democrats now, everything has become political. Where you eat, what you eat, where you shop.
Well, I think you can say that about both sides. I mean, let me jump in there because it's just, you know, we don't want to blame one side or the other necessarily. You started this out in the beginning by saying that, you know, Democrats complain that Republicans wouldn't give President Obama credit for any upswing in the economy.
Yes, that's true. But among Democrats in particular, I mean, even the polling shows, the same polling on the economy shows, Democrats tend to view things much more politically than Republicans tend to. They're much less likely to be surrounded by people of the other party than Republicans are. So in times like this, when Washington's not going in their direction, they tend to have a more negative reaction than Republicans, who, yes, blame Barack Obama, but all the polling has shown consistently for the last 4 years that Democrats, though, view things much more partisanly. So there may be an economic upswing, but because the Democrats aren't in charge of it, they're less likely to ascribe credit to the opposing party.
And then there are a whole bunch of people who can't afford to be concerned about politics and who's getting credit, and they're really just focused on what their checking account looks like, how much money they have, how much they can afford for Christmas, whether people in their family are employed. A lot of people in the middle of the country are feeling better about what's going on right now. We heard that forecast going into the last break that this holiday season could be up 3.8% over last year. What do you think that means going forward?
Well, you know, it's great for these areas that were disaffected under President Obama and voted for President Trump. It does look like the economy is improving there. Much of the economy over the last decade has improved in urban areas, but not necessarily rural areas. It looks like there's a rural upswing happening in the economy. And by the way, this is another reason Republicans should pass common sense tax reform now, because that'll continue to get this economic ball rolling.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that the study found, was that people in rural areas felt better about the economy right now. Do you think that has to do with politics, or is there something different going on there than's going on in the cities?
I do think so. I think that a lot of people in rural areas in the country felt left behind over the last decade. Tech jobs were going into cities, major corporations moving into major metropolitan areas, but places like where I live in the middle of Georgia didn't necessarily feel part of that economic upswing. And now they're starting to, as people are leaving cities and they're moving back into rural areas if only to commute, but they're bringing money with them, shopping in local businesses in rural parts of the country, and that's definitely being felt.
So what have you seen in your part of Georgia? Have you physically seen changes that make you think that there's business coming to your area that wasn't there before, or is it just a sentiment? Real quick.
Yeah, it is sentiment, but it's also, for example, Amazon.com is building a fulfillment center in Middle Georgia. That's going to create 1,000 jobs in a very rural area. People are starting to feel this.
Yeah, no, that's tangible. Erick Erickson, thank you so much. Leela.
Thank you.